The Galactic Council had seen many species in its 3,000-year history, but none quite prepared them for humanity's peculiar interpretation of rules. Ambassador Chen Wei stood before the crystalline gates of the Nexus diplomatic station, his diplomatic credentials glowing softly in his palm. The security scanner hummed as it passed over his body, and then it stopped. The Vexillon guard's 6 eyes widened in what could only be described as mechanical panic. "Ambassador," the guard chittered, its translator struggling to convey the appropriate tone of alarm, "you are carrying 47 bladed weapons." 48? Actually, Chen corrected politely, tapping his belt buckle. "This one's ceramic. Your scanner probably missed it." The guard's mandibles clicked in confusion. Behind the security checkpoint, other diplomats from various species had stopped to observe the commotion. The Serpentine Scaries delegation coiled nervously. The crystalline lumini flickered with what might have been amusement. "The treaty explicitly bans projectile weapons from all diplomatic negotiations," the guard insisted, accessing the relevant datapad with one of its many appendages. "But this is unprecedented." "The treaty bans projectiles," Chen agreed, his weathered face calm. "I have no projectiles. I have knives. Lots of knives." He smiled that uniquely human smile that never quite reached the eyes when business was involved. "Shall we proceed?" The Vexillon guard looked to its superior, who looked to their superior, and within moments the entire security apparatus of the Nexus station was in quiet chaos. Chen waited patiently, knowing exactly what would happen next. High Administrator Vornka of the Thelos Confederation finally arrived, his floating form radiating irritation. The Thelos were energy beings who prided themselves on their mastery of galactic law. They had written most of it, after all. "Ambassador Chen," Vornka's voice resonated directly in everyone's minds. "Surely you understand the spirit of the weapons ban. No species brings instruments of death to peaceful negotiations." "With respect, Administrator," Chen replied, "every species here has brought their instruments of death. The Scaries have venom glands that can kill most species in this room. The Korthak delegation has limbs strong enough to crush my skull. The Lumini can emit radiation that would cook my internal organs in seconds." He gestured around the atrium where dozens of species waited. "Every being here is potentially lethal. I'm just more honest about it." A ripple of discomfort passed through the assembled diplomats. It was an uncomfortable truth that species rarely acknowledged. They were all predators in their own ways, evolved from billions of years of survival. They had simply learned to pretend otherwise. "The humans," Vornka began, his mental voice taking on a lecturing tone, "are new to galactic society. Perhaps you don't understand." "We understand perfectly," Chen interrupted, and there was steel in his voice now. 3 months ago, the Korthak Dominion blockaded human colony worlds. They cited obscure trade violations. The real reason? They wanted our agricultural worlds. When we protested here in this chamber, we were told to negotiate peacefully. When our unarmed diplomatic ship approached their fleet to talk, they fired on it. 47 people died. 47 diplomats, ambassadors, and crew who trusted in galactic law. The atrium had gone silent. Even the constant hum of translation devices seemed muted. Chen's hand rested on one of the knife hilts at his belt. "So I brought 47 knives, one for each person we lost, and I will sit across from the Korthak delegation today. And they will see these knives, and they will remember what they did. This is not how civilized species conduct diplomacy." Vornka protested, but his voice lacked its earlier conviction. "Isn't it?" Chen asked. "The Vaxians have brought their war priests who carry ceremonial axes. The Dreln have their honor guards with plasma staffs. The only difference is that everyone pretends those aren't weapons. Humans don't pretend. We don't hide what we are." A deep, rumbling voice interrupted the standoff. "Let him pass." The crowd parted as war leader Kreth of the Korthak Dominion approached. He was massive even for his species, with armored plating that had seen actual combat. His 4 arms were crossed, but his posture suggested not hostility, but something closer to respect. "The human speaks truth," Kreth continued, his translator rendering his words in a bass growl. "We fired on his people believing humans were weak, that they would accept losses and retreat. We were wrong." He looked directly at Chen. "I see your 47 knives, human. I understand their meaning. My people made a grave error." Chen studied the Korthak war leader carefully. "Are you prepared to make reparations? To withdraw your blockade?" "We are," Kreth confirmed. We came today expecting another species that would beg and plead, hiding their anger behind diplomatic smiles. Instead, you remind us that humans are predators too, ones we do not wish as enemies. Vornka sputtered in the mental equivalent of shock. This is highly irregular. The Council must accept that humanity does things differently, Chen said firmly. We will follow your laws. We will honor your treaties. But we will do so as ourselves, not as some sanitized version you find more comfortable. He looked around at the assembled species. We are humans. We carry our history, our losses, and yes, our weapons. If that makes you uncomfortable, perhaps that's something you need to examine within yourselves. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then, slowly, the Scari's ambassador began the serpentine gesture of respect. The lumini flickered in agreement. One by one, other species joined in. High Administrator Vornka finally relented, his energy form dimming in what might have been a sigh. Very well, Ambassador Chen, you may proceed, with all 48 of your knives. As Chen walked through the security checkpoint, the other diplomats parted before him. The human had done something unprecedented. He had forced the Galactic Council to acknowledge what they all knew but never said. They were all survivors, all predators, all carrying the weight of their species' violent pasts. Humanity had simply refused to pretend otherwise. In the negotiation chamber that day, the Korthak Dominion agreed to full reparations and withdrew their blockade. Some said it was Chen's logical arguments that won the day. Others credited the economic incentives offered. But every delegate who was present knew the truth. They had seen 47 knives, each one a memory, each one a promise. They had seen what humanity truly was. A species that would never forget, would never stop fighting, and would never, ever pretend to be something they were not. The galaxy would have to learn to accept humanity on human terms. Or not at all.